Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So we've been decoding Kraft Stovetop, Stouffer Stovetop, the changeover, and I thought Dr. Hannah Abu yesterday was going to be our top suspect, but now I see that I'm wrong. This one's a little different. This one's a lot different. I got to looking at this morning and doing my chemical search, and I see who this is probably going to be at this point. But we'll find out. I'll get to it here in a minute. But anyway, you got Stouffer's changed to Kraft. So if you cross off this T because it's still in Kraft, you cross off this F because it's still in Kraft, and you cross off this R because it's still in Kraft, you're left with Soufeska. So you bring Soufeska down. And believe it or not, Fesca didn't end up being anything that I can find that's really looks like just somebody on Facebook. So I was expecting that to be something at first, but I was wrong. So anyway, if we get started right away, SOU ends up being Department of Chemistry, Southern Oregon University. No real surprise. But this one's showing me something different, guys. SO ends up being sulfur oxide. All right, it's a abbreviation. OU is University of Oklahoma Chemical, Biological, and Materials Engineering. And UF ends up being Chemical Engineering, University of Florida. So these first three universities have very similar programs. But there's something else. I don't think it's any of these universities. I think these universities are being calculated, and I'll explain why when we get there. All right. So if you move on from that, you have Fe, which ends up being iron on the periodic table of elements. I don't think I have to get into that. FeS is ferrous sulfide. And I don't think I have to get into that either. Iron sulfide, basically. But ESK then ends up being U.S. Navy Occupational Handbook for Women, and it deals with chemical warfare. Right? But if you move on from that, you have SKA, and SKA ends up being SKA Chemical Company. SKA is also 121, SKA 121 on Cayman Chemicals. All right, so you got a couple things for SKA. If you move on from that, you got SK, which ends up being SK Chemicals. They're just a chemical company. And that gets you through going forwards. Now we're coming back, and you start with AKS, which ends up being AKS Chemicals. AKS is also acetinic, acnic keratosis treatment. It deals with skin cancer. It's from the Skin Cancer Foundation, and it's a chemical peel. Then you move to AK, and AK, we're coming back still, guy. Now we're coming back. We started coming back at AKS, going backwards. AK is AK Scientific, and they deal with chemical products. KS is KS Chemical Company out of China. That's our second thing out of China in this is fourth category search. So you do get some China things, but it isn't China. You also get KS Chemicals out of India. We got China and India places both in our last search, right? But if you move on from that, you end up with SEF, and that ends up being selenium hydrofluoride. And SEF is more interesting to me, Sustainable Engineering Forum, Global Home of Chemical Engineers. But they're not my suspects. We're getting to my new suspects. EF is EF Chemical Consulting. And if you move from that, and that's using the EF out of SEF. Now, if you use that F with FU, you get Sanfu Chemicals. That's a third China in four categories. Still not China. But FU, Sanfu Chemicals. And if you move on from that, you have my new suspect. And I'll explain it. FUO is, once again, fever of unknown origin. All right. Now we're looking at this real close. because so far that's come up in every search. And my guess is it's going to come up in research groups. There's going to be a group that's studying this fever of unknown origin. And I suspect whoever that group is making all these calculations. All these schools have similar programs. That doesn't always happen, right? Schools don't always come up over and over. In this case, they are. They have similar programs. Somebody's calculating all of them. And I think it's whoever's this fever of unknown origin, I think might be the key. But I could be wrong again. We will find out if it keeps coming up. But if you move on from that, you have UO, which ends up being Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry, and that's University of Oregon. And OS is osium on the periodic table of elements. And I don't think we've had osium before. OSIUM. Shiny silver metal that resists corrosion. All right. It has no known biological role. It's not toxic, but oxide is volatile and very toxic. But osium is not. It has very few uses. It is used to produce very hard alloys for fountain tip pens, instrument pivots, needles, and electrical contacts. It is also used in the chemical industry as a catalyst. So, anyway, osium. And I'll provide the links. And that gets you through going forwards and backwards in the chemical category. And I think next is finance. Or research groups, it's one or the other. And this time we'll do laboratories as well, just to see if it's there, what isn't there. So, but anyway, we're looking at fever of unknown origin. That's in everything so far. We'll see if it keeps coming up, and it's calculating these universities that have the same programs. But why? Well, I have a feeling it's going to have something to do with this fever of unknown origin. Whatever group is on top of that, studying that, working on that, I think is going to be our people using the quantum network. But again, could be wrong. I'm just trying to pick up the pattern as I go, and right now that's the pattern I see. So if anyone sees anything different, Phoenix or anybody else, let me know. But right now it's looking a lot like somebody's calculating all this with the fever of unknown origin for some reason. So probably the group studying it. So for now, guys, that's going to be it. Thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down. Thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And thanks for watching. We'll see if we get the next one out. Maybe, maybe not. At this point, it's getting awful late. But for now, you guys have a great rest of your day.